Plenty has been written and said about the design thinking methodology, but are you fully aware of the toolkit behind it all? Things like exploratory research and journey maps can turn your daily routine into a real problem-solving strategy. But how do they work? Hello and welcome to MJV Vlogs. I'm Paul Steve Duache, and this is the Design Thinking Toolkit. The theory behind design thinking can have major impacts on your company's culture, but it's actually the tools that carry the brunt of the weight during operation. Each stage requires a different set of tools. Immersion is the first stage in design thinking. The goal here is to get as much information on the matter as possible, and the first tool used in immersion is research, namely exploratory and desk research. Exploratory research involves in-person fieldwork, whereas desk research comes from websites, books, magazines and alike. The idea here is to first get a holistic view of the problem through multiple inputs. Empathy is a big part of the immersion phase and a long-running theme within design thinking. The most direct tools in that regard are interviews. Here we're looking to ask assertive questions with the goal of extracting your subject's needs and desires. There are two other tools that can really help you get into someone else's shoes, and that's a day in the life and shadowing. A day in the life is basically what it sounds like, a simulation of the target user's life or an interaction with a service. Shadowing, on the other hand, monitors a user over a certain period of time, focusing on their interactions with a product or service. It's this kind of feedback that helps us incorporate empathy into our projects and daily routines. Now we move on to stage 2, analysis. Here, you'll be taking in all the data you collected in immersion to extract useful insights. The tools include insight cards, flashcards that reflect data collecting during the immersion stage, helpful for future reference. Affinity diagrams, simple groupings of insight cards that all share the same common thread. This will help you generate connections between data points and look for underlying causes. Next, we have concept maps, diagrams presenting links between certain affinities. This links groups of data points together to visually understand their macro interactions. Empathy maps are a great way to synthesize the information extracted from interviews, giving you a snapshot look into how users think, feel, and act towards a product or service. Developing personas built from research are another great way to get a clearer picture of your target audience. You might have noticed that your data has begun to reveal that your initial assessment of the problem is different than what you first imagined. Now this is the perfect time to try reframing your design thinking project. Finally, we arrive at the user journey, a guide charting user interactions from start to finish, documenting their experiences each and every step of the way. With a clear understanding of who your users are and their journey, you can generate a blueprint of every noteworthy interaction and reaction within the system. Just like in the previous stage, ideation tools build on one another. Most of us are familiar with brainstorming, but DT also counts on brainwriting. Brainwriting is a similar process where team members anonymously write down their ideas. These acts foster openness within the team and forces more timid members to promote their ideas. Co-creation workshops are collaborative meetings held by the design team. They bring together people from different areas to help generate innovative solutions. The final two ideation tools are the ideas menu and the positioning matrix. These will summarize and actualize generated ideas to produce a table outlining the benefits and the challenges of implementing each solution. Last but not least, we have the aforementioned prototyping. It's finally time to test and validate the effectiveness of your solution from the end user's perspective. The first two prototyping tools are visual. Prototyping on paper represents simple hand-drawn mock-ups, while volume models show a 3D representation of a product. Staging is simulating user interactions with a product or service. Think of it a little like improv activities. Personas work well here. Storyboarding is a technique used in areas like film and advertising. It tells a visual story across a sequence of static frames, including drawings, collages, and photographs. It's a visual representation of a new customer journey. It's time for the service prototype, a simulation of the user experience to check and validate design choices. This prototype should consider all of the touchpoints that define the journey, including material artifacts, environmental factors, and interpersonal relationships. Finally, we have our minimum viable product, or our MVP, the simplest working version of a product or service. This is essentially the final tool on the list. After you have your MVP, your next step should be to immediately start testing it on actual users. This is for feedback purposes. Your next job is to fail fast, find out what doesn't work, and keep updating your MVP until it's really ready for the market. But it's very clear that design thinking offers a variety of tools to choose from, and that their use imparts the very mindset needed for DT implementation. Want to know how to get the most out of your DT toolkit? Why not download our Business Innovation ebook, or even reach out to one of our consultants for a more personalized experience? Remember, you don't have to go it alone.